Early in the morning, get them packs in. Don't ever let a nibber say he need 'em. And work, work. So guys, intro today. It's gonna be a quick trade recap, mainly due to the fact because I won. Um, bro, it's about time I won, literally. Well, I could have won like the whole past, like not really about time I won. Like I've been winning pretty consistently. Either my limit orders are just not getting filled. That's actually pretty much it. My limit orders have just not been getting filled. The proof is literally in the recaps down below, if no one believes me. But um, yeah, let's start off with today's trade. If you look at the daily, like not like daily, not daily profile, like daily chart. Um, let's start with our top down and everything. Like what my thought process was coming into today. So coming into today, as you recall a couple videos ago, I said price was going to step into this fair value gap since we already took out these highs last week. We already took out these highs. Everything down here has already been protected. There's no reason for price to come down here and take out anything unless for some reason we have some like drastic news event. Right now it looks like price is literally just kicking itself back up. Excuse me. Whatchamacallit? Picking itself back up. So with that being said, the next drawn liquidity for me, like external wise, like long term, would be this buy side. I am. Yeah, it was. I do. It was a weekly high. Yeah. So this weekly high is the external draw, which is in this other weekly fair value gap that I do think price is gonna want to come out and gun towards, since we already broke weekly structure up to the upside and excuse me, since we already broke weekly structure and with the way it's looking, we might be able. We're not gonna take this out today probably, but this is like the external draw for the long term play. So going on to the daily, I'm like, okay, we're probably gonna come up and seek this high. So coming in today, I was pretty bullish. You're asking why? Everything we already had was pretty consistent, like consistent order flow. Like we broke structure over here to the downside on the 4 hour, but however we filled in these gaps. So this was already telling me alone we were gonna have to be at least come up and have like be bullish. And today was also NFP news today, and I don't really trade NFP, but I was actually open up to trading. My original bias, however, was shorts, but with how everything in order flow was telling me, I was bullish. So let's start that off with today. Alright, coming in today, literally what do we have straight off? We immediately took out previous day highs at I don't even know when. I think this was 8:30. Oh, 9 a.m. open. Okay. So 9 a.m. open, we ended up taking out previous day highs. News came out around 8:30, as you can see here. These were data lows right here. Um I don't know why I wanted. Well, I intentionally wanted shorts mainly because we had a lot of these sell side liquidity resting right here. We had this 15-minute. We also had in session lows. We also had previous day lows. I was thinking maybe price would want to come into previous day equilibrium, but now in hindsight, we already did come into previous day equilibrium. Midnight open, we came into previous day equilibrium. We also manipulated into this high time frame PD array, which is this hourly. And I don't know. I know this is like a daily profile. Open, manipulate into a high time frame PD array, and then either reversal or continuation. I don't know. I usually just go off like what the order flow is telling me. Um, so with that in mind, we come into market open. We ended up having this first 15-minute gap, and this 15-minute gap was practically the confirmation of my bias. Like if we were to inverse this gap and break below structure, I was gonna be bearish for today. If we ended up um, coming into this imbalance, pushing up out of it, or maybe creating an SMT, I'm going to be bullish for today. And just having these contingency plans will definitely make you a better trader because you're just planning all these scenarios in your head. Instead of just like scrolling on your phone, just waiting for market open, you could do that. I mean, not market open, like waiting while market is developing, you could do that, but it's just better to come into market beforehand and have all these contingency plans of what you want to do. I just made a TikTok video on this literally yesterday, but coming into today, this 15-minute this 15-minute was the make or well, either the make or make for either bias. Like if we disrespected it, broke structure, like crazy displacement, I was gonna be bearish. If not, we created an SMT or we just closed above it and we were just maintaining like bullish order flow, I was going to be bullish. So coming in today, that is exactly what happened. We ended up coming into on ES. We ended up breaking 15-minute structure and inversing this gap. But however, we didn't do that on NASDAQ. We ended up creating a 5-minute SMT. I stayed on the 5-minute on NASDAQ, stayed on the 15-minute on ES just in case. Just in case I was like seeing something that I didn't want to see until I scrolled onto the 5-minute on both, and I ended up seeing that we ended up creating an SMT. So I was like, okay, bet. Check one of my model is already complete. We already have an SMT in one direction pointing the opposite way. So I was like, okay, just a matter of time until this gets reclaimed because we really inverse this, right? But fair value gaps inversions can get reclaimed. So especially with an SMT, with what I've been noticing. So with this in mind, I was like, okay, this is probably gonna get reclaimed, and then from there, let's get to work. Before that, price was already respecting this order block. Obviously turned into a breaker block, but the price was respecting this order block while in this imbalance, which was honestly confirming my bearish bias until we got this SMC. It was just a matter of time until this turned into my 5-minute PD array, and then we just go down to 3-minute and 1-minute and just bake some bread. Obviously not bread, but just get nasty. So that is exactly what happened. So what happened after the 5-minute? I just waited for this breaker to be invalidated and price to literally just be in bullish structure. Either 5-minute CISD like this, or honestly, just a 5-minute microstructure shift. And that's exactly what I got, a 5-minute microstructure shift. From there, what did we also have? We also had a 5-minute breaker, because this was a crazy, not crazy, it was a really, really good, strong displacement to the upside. So really valid for my PD rate. It wasn't any crazy wicks. This was a very nice and clean displacement. From there, I scaled onto the 3-minute. We didn't really have anything. Like, price was already balanced. We had a nice displacement. We had this, what we call it? We ended up having this gap that we ended up not coming into, but we ended up just having this gap. But to be honest, my thought process in this, with the way everything was looking, I was like, okay, I see no reason for price to even come down into this gap. That was my original idea, like after we closed above here, but since due to the fact that we closed really, really high up here, my thesis on price coming onto this 3-minute was pretty invalid, especially due to the fact that later on we ended up coming into this and balanced this out. So that theory was correct. But scrolling on to the 1-minute, literally the exact same thing. Not exact same thing. Literally my freaking entry model. Honestly, I feel as though on the 15-second this would have been like, it would have been hella wiki, but it would have been really, really cleaner. But we ended up having this order block, and we ended up having a nice displacement, and then from there I ended up setting my limit order somewhere around here. No, I ended up having a buy order, but my fill was like somewhere up here, so I immediately closed that out. I ended up losing bread, which was pretty unfortunate. I ended up losing money. I started a new paper trading account because it's a new month, and yeah. So with that, I ended up losing money on that. That was pretty unfortunate, but I didn't really care. I was like, damn. I'm just gonna set the limit order. Set my stop loss was literally, okay. My stop loss was literally like down here, and then because this would have been like the invalidated of the trade, well, it was like right here. I just trailed it, but the invalidation of the trade would have literally been this order block. Like, why would have been invalidated if someone's asking that? Well, because this was like my main trade idea. We already came in an imbalance in we already came in balance in this gap, which led me to the 3-minute, because I was like, okay, wait, if we balance on the 1-minute, the 3-minute is perfectly fine. Like, we don't need to come down on the 1-minute. I mean, on the 3-minute. So with this in mind, I was like, okay, scratch that 3-minute out the window. My trade idea is on the order block, because the gap has already been filled. We're not, this whole area right here is protected. There's no reason to come down here unless somehow price wants to make a reversal. We just break structure, right? So with that in mind, I'm like, all right, bet. This is the whole trade idea. Whole trade idea literally just based off of this. Literally clean displacement, and then I want to retrace. Stop my stop loss somewhere around here. My entry was right here, 524, 125. Right here. So 3.67 RR. My trades are always gonna be like, are always from 2 to 3 RR. I always make sure I have like 1 R secured in profit though. And yeah, this was my break even or 1.6 R secure spot right here. And then from there, wait, how much R did I secure? Wow, 1.5. That's kind of insane. I don't think it was 1.5 though. I think because I literally like ended up trailing my stop and stuff, so it was like around like 1.6. But point is, minimum 1.2 R secured. Like, and it has to be like out of valid reason to go like break even, or just like take an R. Like, this was a valid swing high to take partials at, and from there I just ended up not stopping. I ended up trailing my stop loss and ended up getting stopped out in profit. Took I think like 200 ticks in profit, like in total, because I took 100 and like 50 off or 140 off, and then I got stopped out like plus 50 more, so that's like 200 ticks in profit in total. If I left my stop loss as is, this trade would have been literally like continued from 10:12 all the way to 11, like literally would have been an hour long trade, just wicks. My last take profit is literally this daily high, which is the beginning of the daily fair value gap, which I do think price is going to want to come into if we want to come and take out this buy side, which is weekly high. Other than that, this was pretty much like the trade idea. Price is really just I don't know what price is doing. Like we're wicking, which is like one of the reasons why I don't trade NFP is because we're gonna have a lot of strong wicks. And price originally left me, but I readjusted my limit order, and somehow, some way, this strong wick literally wicked me in, and then from there it was just boom, just legs up from there. But I mean, yeah, we'll just see how price will develop later on. I do think we're gonna come for this daily high. If not, we'll probably just consolidate in this crazy range. But if we do consolidate in this range or we don't do anything, that's perfectly fine. But if you do end up coming for this daily high, weekly high, no, that's not a weekly high. Weekly high is external buy side. But we end up coming for this internal daily high. That would be pretty sweet, and it would literally leave me on my bias of coming into this gap as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Let's see how May treats us this month. March treated us really good. February treated us really good. January, I lost my first week. That was pretty demotivating, but I mean, pretty. I think I've gotten like better like market intuition since then, to be honest. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Well, Monday's video, because I won't upload this week until unless I do something that makes me want to upload. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys actually enjoyed the video. I love you guys. Stay safe. Peace out.